So let's talk Core Presents. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, it is the newest, coolest feature with KvCore, and you have to see how to utilize this function. So if you watch my other videos and you heard me talking about street text for leads, okay, when a seller comes in and they basically want to know what their house could be worth and sell for in this market, I then use the newest and greatest tool in KvCore for no additional cost, by the way. And I am with EXP, but if you're not, you can still get KvCore. And Core Presents is what I use to create my CMA report. It's an interactive presentation and it's so cool. And I'm going to show you right now. So now that I'm in KvCore, what I'd like to show you is how you can take a seller lead that you get from wherever you get them from, and you can send them a really interactive, super cool, very professional interaction tool that they can use to really see more about you, about the market, about the comps, everything. I've been told so many times that this presentation was the most professional presentation that they've seen from any agent before. So I'm going to show you. So here it is, and this is the address that the lead entered in, which is 7509 Fiesta Way. So from there, we're going to click on this button that says Core Present, because that's what we're going to focus on for today. Now, it's going to open up, it's going to start thinking and gathering the address and populating some information to begin with. And once it goes there, it's going to allow us to kind of customize that information with accurate information, because you know how some things are really wonky. Most of the time it's right, but sometimes online they just have the wrong information. So I usually have another window open with my local MLS, but for the purposes of this video, I already know the information, and I'm just going to go ahead and enter it in. So it allows you to verify. So I'm going to verify it's a single-family home. The year built was 1971. Now, I want to change the year range because the neighborhood that this home's in has a very wide range of when the homes were built. So I'm going to go all the way back from 1950, and we'll, look at homes up to about 2010. So I'll press the check. That'll customize the comps it's going to show us. Close date, for the purposes of now, we're going to do in the last 6 months, because the market is changing so fast. Now, bedroom count. This is a 4-bedroom home. You see how they only have it as 1. So that's something I'd want to adjust. Now, 4-bedroom homes, I like to look at homes between 3 and 5 bedrooms, because I can still work with comps with 3 to 5 bedroom homes. Square footage. Of course, verify all this information. So this home had additional square footage added. Okay, we're going to put a check. Now, you notice how it does a -20 to +20. So that way it'll give you a range of homes that are not outside of that 20% bigger, 20% smaller kind of range, which is really excellent. Now, total lot size, they're all very similar around here. So I'm just going to leave it be. Now, you see how it automatically sets it to a mile radius? In my area, that is way too wide. So what I would suggest is if you're in an urban area, I would do 0.25, so a quarter mile out. Now, as you get into more rural areas, or maybe a property that has acreage, then that's when you're going to want to use the 1 mile tool, and you can go wider, especially depending on the size and density of the population in your area. Now, for this specific area, we're going to just do a quarter of a mile. That'll be perfect. It'll show the homes in the neighborhood. That's great. So from here, we're going to build the CMA. All right. Now over here, it's going to show you what it already looks like, right? The most recent sold, the closest sold. I like to make sure that it has everything that I want to include. Now, let's pretend in your community that there was for sale by owners or maybe off-market properties that sold. Use this tool right here under estimate that will allow you to add whatever homes you want to add within that comparable range that you put in, the half mile or quarter mile. So for me, I just want to see the results. What comps are they using? This is why I use my own MLS to verify, and that way you can add specific MLS numbers that you also think apply. Now, on here, it's going to give a range, the pending homes, closed homes. Now, you notice the thumb up. That means they're not being included in the comps, but obviously we're all smarter than computers. So we're not smarter than computers, but we know how to store data. How about that? Okay. So we're going to go here and we are going to look at what's just liked and what is starred. Starred properties are the ones that they are including in the CMA, but we can override that. So I'm going to look over here. This one is a little, bigger, 367 square feet, but this is right on the same road. So I'm definitely going to use that. I know it hasn't sold, but where the list price is, that's still going to give us good information that I might like my prospect to see. Okay. So I'm going to include that one as well. This one is included 0.18. This one's 0.25, but it's on Harps Mill. Harps Mill is actually very different price point than Fiesta. So I have to kind of watch that and kind of look very carefully. Sapling 0.15. I could probably include that one as well. It's only 72 square feet smaller. So these are all very close comps. Let me just see if I can narrow it down at all. Audubon is close, so we're going to include that one. Bolero. That's going to give us more information. Okay, perfect. So now that I've added all of those, okay, I can go ahead and click off of this. And if we go up here, you're going to see it included all of the information. Now, of course, in a normal situation, I'm going to go and look at MLS, look at the pictures, really compare it, figure out where I could list. Remember, appraisers, in my opinion, are historians. They look at the fact, they look at the trend, they look at sold homes to make a determination. And real estate agents, we're really fortune tellers because we take that historical data, we merge it with the current market and with the current inventory, and we adjust it either higher or lower depending on what's going on. So we want to have all the information we can. Now, let's just assume I've gone through MLS, I've looked at the market, I've looked at inventory, and I decide what I think we could list this home for. So for me, you can enter in a price, but I think that's very narrow because we haven't put eyes on the property yet. We have the information they've given us. Well, I guess in some cases you would have already seen the home, but because I get my leads from elsewhere, they filter in, and a lot of times I'll use the information they give me about upgrades, renovations needed. But either way, you can either put one specific price where you think you should list the home. I oftentimes do a range, okay? So in this case, I would think the range for my lead would be between $495 and $505. I think that would be a very reasonable price point to list at based on all the features, and after I've looked at the additions and renovations of other homes, this is where I want it to be. Now you can see there's other information provided. From here, we are going to, and there's other tools, but we're just going to continue to go on. So at this point, we're going to create presentation, okay? Once we click on create presentation, the first time you have access to this, you're going to create some of the pages. They have templates you can use. I've already done that with mine. I've set it up the way I like it. So let me just show you what it looks like. Now, first of all, one thing you can do is add an image, okay? So that way, I like to grab a picture of the house, and I'm not going to use the actual picture of the house. So for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm just going to grab a picture that I had used today, and that would be right on my desktop. And let's go ahead and just grab a house, whatever it is. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and grab the picture. I'm going to open it. We're going to use that photo. So this will be the new presentation, cover page. And you can put whatever picture represents the house. From there, you go next. You can see I've already done these templates. So this is interactive. people can click and view my website and view my testimonials, which I included a few on the next page. Now, we're going to go through this all the way because I'm going to show it to you live. So for the purposes of now, let me go ahead and just press present. Another really cool tool, you can add all of these additional things within your presentation. You can add a video. You can add an estimated net sheet, which, by the way, is just so incredible. So let me just go ahead and make a sample one, okay? So because I said the range would be $495,000, we'll do the next one at $500,000. This is giving them a range. So I always ask them, you know, if they have anything that they owe on their property. I don't know if I did that right. Okay, so let's just assume that they owe $150,000 on their property. So I'm going to fill that in. Okay, now I'm not figuring this out right this second, but let's just assume for this demonstration that the listing office will make $8,000 and selling, which is the buyer agent, would make $8,000. And in this situation, they might make $8,100. And it could be whatever your commission splits are. And like I said, these numbers are not real. I'm making them up as I go. So let's assume it's like this. And I put in a range. So like for document fees that sellers pay in North Carolina, in your state, it may be completely different. Perhaps they have to pay for closing, but in North Carolina, buyers pay for closing and sellers kind of pay for like the document prep and the reporting fees. Now, prorated property tax. So what I do is right now it's May, okay? And so taxes were paid and you got to assume that in January they start. So I take the total amount for the year, I divide it by 12. And if it's May and they're thinking of listing June, well, assume that in this market that they'll be closed in July. So that way I'll take that monthly prorated tax, I'll multiply it by 7, and I'll get my number. So again, for the purposes of this, I'm going to just use a nice rounded number. Okay. And state tax, we have what's called excise tax in our state when you are a seller. So basically it would be $495 times 2, and it would be 500 times 2. So we'll just say, you know, that this would be about 900, this would be 1,000, and this would be 1,000. Okay. Now, these more apply to the buyers, at least in my state, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and create this and add it to the presentation. You can add whatever you want. But now let's go ahead and view this presentation. So this is a link I could use to share it to them, or I could just simply email it to whoever the contact is. So if you want to email it, you just press email presentation. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and enter in the link that it gave me. And this is what your client or lead or prospect will see. It's not usually this slow, but got a lot going on my computer. It's been working really hard for me today. Okay. So your picture for the house will probably be prettier. I mean, like I said, I just grabbed one from my desktop. So from there, they will be clicking the arrows. They will have a screen where they can see about me, my testimonials, just a few of them, and it allows them to visit and get more information. It shows them the comps, right? They can see the map. They can even click on it and interact with this to see the different homes that I used as comps. This is showing them the comps, and it shows them exactly where it would be that I think I would list home based on the information, the MLS, the market. This gives them additional information that's pre-done. You don't have to do this. This figured out with Core Presents. Now, this is a great tool too because it shows based on the sales in the area over the last 6 months, it shows the number of buyers looking in your area. So the darker you get, there's more buyers looking in those areas. In this region, you can see it still looks like, there's an average amount of interest. Now, you can interact with it so that they can even turn these on and see active comparables. And there's all kinds of tools that they can play with. Here, this is also figured out through my firm with EXP Realty, online engagement, okay? It shows them the online engagement near this address, and it shows actually this many buyers that are in MLS right now that have searches set up that would feature my house or, this address. So that really tells them, oh, look, there's already 274 people that I know eyes would be right on it, and they're interested in that area. So that's very exciting information for your leads. This goes over the marketing plan just briefly. Here is the estimated net sheet that we provided them, so they can look right here, see what they would walk away from roughly with the information provided and how much they owe, et cetera, et cetera. And then from here, if they have a choice, they can go ahead and get started with me, or if they need more time or more information, so I'll get notified. So this whole presentation, not only do you look like a rock star, but it does what you need it to do. It gives them information in a visual, they can read it, and it's theirs. They can use this and look back as often as they'd like. And what's cooler is you actually get notified and you can see how long someone has interacted. I would show that page, but because it has sensitive information for my prospects, I'm not going to. Now, if you want to learn more about this, I included a link that we can just set up some time to do like a business chat, and I will walk you through anything you have questions about, anything in terms of KvCore, anything in terms of EXP, anything in terms of lead generation. So if you'd like to do that, go ahead and schedule some time with my Calendly, and we'll go ahead and just set up a 30-minute meeting and just chat. Have a great one.